For most of human history, the sun was not something we feared. It was something we worshipped. It rose, and the world came alive. Birds sang, flowers opened. Our ancestors stepped outside, greeted the morning sky, and began their day in rhythm with the light. They didn't know about vitamin D, serotonin, or circadian clocks, but they knew deep down that sunlight was life itself. Then, somewhere along the road to modern life, we lost that connection. We built walls, glass towers, air-conditioned offices. We replaced sunrise with blue-lit screens and natural daylight with flickering bulbs. We even learned to fear the very thing that shaped us, warned that it causes wrinkles, aging, even danger. But what if avoiding the sun has quietly dimmed something inside us? What if, in protecting ourselves from light, we've created a deeper kind of darkness, one that affects our mood, our energy, our hormones, even our immunity? Because sunlight isn't just radiation, it's information. Every morning, ray that touches your skin sends millions of messages into your body. Messages that tune your brain, your hormones, your heart, and your very cells. We've been told to think of sunlight only in terms of vitamin D, but the truth is far more mysterious and far more beautiful. In the last 2 decades, scientists have begun uncovering a new language, the language of light. From NASA using red light therapy to heal wounds in space, to Harvard research showing how near-infrared light boosts cellular energy, we're beginning to realize that sunlight is not just a source of warmth. It's a biological command center. And here's the most fascinating part. Your body remembers the sun. Every cell in you has tiny molecular clocks, still waiting for that morning signal. When they don't receive it, your systems fall out of sync. Your energy dips. Your sleep weakens. Your mind grows foggy. So maybe the question isn't, is the sun dangerous? Maybe the real question is, what happens when we stop listening to its rhythm? Today, we'll rediscover what the ancients already knew. That sunlight is medicine, not just for the body, but for the spirit too. Because before there was fire, or food, or shelter, there was light. And everything that lives still lives because of it. Beyond vitamin D, light as information. When we think of sunlight, most of us think of one thing: vitamin D. We've heard it for years, that sunlight helps your body create this sunshine vitamin, that it strengthens bones, boosts immunity, and keeps your mood stable. And yes, that's all true. When ultraviolet light touches your skin, it begins a miraculous chain reaction, turning cholesterol molecules into vitamin D precursors, which your liver and kidneys then activate into their usable form. That single nutrient influences more than 2,000 genes, regulating everything from calcium absorption to immune defense. But here's what's rarely talked about. Vitamin D is only one note in a much larger symphony, because sunlight is far more than just UV rays. It's a full spectrum, a living rainbow of wavelengths, each carrying unique biological messages. There's blue light, which resets your internal clock; red light, which fuels your mitochondria; infrared light, which warms and heals deep tissues; ultraviolet light, which triggers protective and adaptive responses in your skin. Modern biophysics now views light not just as energy, but as information, a messenger that tells your body how to function. When sunlight enters your eyes, not through vision, but through specialized light-sensitive cells, it sends signals directly to your brain's master clock, informing your body what time of day it is. That single signal adjusts your hormones, your metabolism, your mood, and even your digestion. When sunlight touches your skin, It activates a network of sensors that talk to your nervous and endocrine systems. It tells your body when to wake, when to rest, when to release melatonin, and when to repair DNA. Dr. Alexander Wunsch, a leading German photobiologist, calls this light nutrition. He says that our skin and eyes are not just passive barriers, they're photoreceptors, organs designed to eat light the same way our stomachs eat food. In his research, Wunsch found that every cell in the body is tuned to respond to light frequencies, as if each wavelength were a different nutrient. Red light nourishes mitochondria, blue light regulates the brain, infrared light soothes inflammation. This means sunlight isn't just an external force. It's a biological language your body still remembers how to speak. So when you step outside at dawn and let that first ray hit your skin, you're not just getting vitamin D. You're syncing your body to the same code that all life on Earth has followed for billions of years. And when you spend too many days under artificial light, cold, flickering, narrow spectrum, your body loses that ancient rhythm. You may still function, but you're slightly out of tune, like an instrument that hasn't been played in the sun for far too long. Sunlight doesn't just power life, it programs it. How sunlight shapes your mood, sleep, and energy. Have you ever noticed how everything just feels better on a sunny day? Your thoughts are clearer. Your body feels lighter. Even simple things, music, food, laughter, seem brighter somehow. That isn't just your imagination, it's sunlight speaking directly to your brain. Inside your eyes are special receptors, not for sight, but for light itself. They're called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, and their only job is to sense brightness. These cells send a direct message to your brain's master clock, a tiny region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, right behind your eyes. This clock controls your body's entire rhythm. When you feel alert, when you grow tired, when your body releases hormones, and when your organs repair themselves. When morning sunlight hits your eyes, that clock resets, sending a wave of signals throughout your body. Cortisol rises gently to wake you up. Serotonin levels increase to lift your mood. Digestive enzymes prepare for the first meal of the day. And about 12 hours later, that same signal triggers melatonin, your natural sleep hormone, to begin its nighttime rise. In other words, the quality of your sleep tonight depends on the sunlight you received this morning. A 2018 study from Harvard Medical School found that people who spent just 30 minutes in early morning sunlight fell asleep faster and had deeper, more restorative sleep at night, even compared to those taking melatonin supplements. Sunlight is also one of nature's most powerful antidepressants. When light enters your eyes, it activates the same serotonin pathways targeted by many mood-boosting medications. That's why bright light therapy has become a clinically proven treatment for seasonal affective disorder, or winter depression. In northern countries, where days grow short and gray, doctors now prescribe morning light exposure as a first-line treatment for low mood and energy. A landmark Stanford University trial showed that just 20 minutes of full-spectrum light each morning improved mood, focus, and motivation as effectively as common antidepressants, but without side effects. And it's not just mental health. Your body's entire energy system depends on that daily rhythm of light. When your brain knows it's daytime, it directs mitochondria, the tiny power plants in your cells, to ramp up energy production. When your brain thinks it's night, it tells them to slow down. So what happens when you live mostly indoors, surrounded by artificial light that never changes? Your body gets confused. It no longer knows when to be awake or when to rest. Cortisol stays high at night. Melatonin stays low in the morning. You feel tired but wired, exhausted yet unable to sleep. It's not burnout. It's light deficiency. Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford calls sunlight the most powerful behavioral antidepressant known to science. He reminds us that morning light exposure not only resets the brain's clock but also strengthens dopamine circuits, the same pathways that control motivation and focus. So, if you ever feel drained, foggy, or stuck in a cycle of low energy before you reach for coffee or supplements, try light first. Step outside. Look toward the sky, not directly at the sun, but at the bright horizon. Let your body remember the signal it has followed for millions of years. Because sunlight doesn't just brighten the world, it brightens you. It reminds every cell in your body that it's time to live again. Sunlight's hidden cellular secrets. We've talked about how sunlight guides your mood, your hormones, and your sleep. But its influence doesn't stop there. Because sunlight doesn't just work on the surface, it reaches into the deepest layers of your biology, into the very engines that power your life, your cells. Inside every cell in your body are tiny energy factories called mitochondria. These are the structures that turn oxygen and nutrients into ATP, the molecule that fuels every heartbeat, every thought, every breath. But what few people know is that your mitochondria are light-sensitive. They respond to specific wavelengths of light, especially red and near-infrared. These wavelengths can penetrate deep into tissue, reaching muscles, nerves, even organs. When that light enters the cell, it interacts with a molecule called cytochrome C oxidase, a crucial enzyme in the mitochondrial respiratory chain. This interaction increases oxygen utilization, boosts ATP production, and reduces oxidative stress. In simpler terms, red and near-infrared light help your cells make more clean energy and heal faster. This process is known as photobiomodulation, a word that sounds complex, but it simply means light-changing biology. It's not new science. In fact, NASA first explored red light therapy in the 1990s to help astronauts heal wounds in zero gravity, where recovery was notoriously slow. The results were astonishing. Cells exposed to red light healed up to 200% faster. Since then, hundreds of clinical trials have shown that certain wavelengths of light can accelerate muscle recovery, reduce joint pain, and even support neurological repair after injury. Harvard Medical School researchers now use this technique to study treatments for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, finding that near-infrared light helps protect neurons and improve mitochondrial resilience in the brain. But sunlight itself, the original red light therapy, still offers this gift naturally, every morning and evening, when its rays are richest in healing wavelengths. And that's not all. When sunlight touches your skin, it does something else remarkable. It releases a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide acts as a natural vasodilator. It relaxes your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely. This lowers blood pressure, improves oxygen delivery, and nourishes your heart. A 2014 study from the University of Edinburgh showed that people exposed to natural sunlight experienced lower blood pressure and improved circulation, even when their vitamin D levels didn't rise. That means sunlight benefits your heart independently of vitamins D. Researchers believe this nitric oxide pathway may explain why cardiovascular disease rates tend to be lower in sunnier regions, and why spending just a few minutes outdoors each day can have lasting protective effects on heart health. Sunlight also has a quiet anti-inflammatory power. When your body receives the full spectrum of natural light, your immune system becomes more balanced, less likely to overreact or attack itself. This may be why conditions like multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis are more common in areas with limited sunlight. So think about that for a moment. Every ray of sunlight that lands on your skin is doing dozens of things at once: calming inflammation, widening your blood vessels, feeding your mitochondria, and strengthening your heart. You can't see it happening, but your body feels it instantly. And when you hide from the sun completely, you're not just avoiding warmth or UV rays, you're cutting off one of nature's oldest communication lines between light and life. Your skin, your eyes, your cells, they all evolved under sunlight. To deprive them of it is to deprive them of the rhythm they were designed to follow. Because the truth is simple, yet profound. We are not separate from the sun. We are extensions of it, born of its energy, sustained by its light, and healed by its return each new day. So when you step outside and feel that golden warmth against your skin, remember, that's not just sunlight. That's the universe recharging you, one photon at a time. How to reclaim daily sunlight. Practical guide. Now that we've seen how sunlight heals the mind and body, the next question is, how can we bring it back into our modern lives? Because today, most people spend over 90% of their time indoors. We wake up in dark rooms, step into cars, walk through covered hallways, and work under artificial light that never changes. It's no wonder our internal clocks are confused. We've built lives disconnected from the rhythm that once guided every cell in us. But the solution doesn't require moving to the tropics or quitting your job. You can begin to restore your relationship with sunlight, gently, safely, and naturally, starting today. Let's begin with the simplest ritual of all, the morning reset. The first hour after sunrise is sacred for your biology. This is when sunlight carries the perfect blend of blue and red light to wake up your circadian rhythm. Step outside within 60 minutes of sunrise. You don't need direct sunlight. Even a bright sky works. Let that light touch your eyes. No sunglasses, no glass barriers. Just natural light on your face and skin. You'll feel your energy rise within minutes. That's cortisol awakening naturally, not from caffeine. Your body registers, it's morning. Life begins. If you start your day with screens instead, your brain gets a false signal. Bright light at the wrong angle and spectrum. You wake up mentally, but not biologically. That's why so many people feel tired but wired. So instead of reaching for your phone, reach for the sky. Smart sun exposure. Not all sunlight is created equal. Midday light is strong, rich in UVB that triggers vitamin D production. Just 10-20 minutes of direct sun on arms, legs, or back is enough for most people. The ideal window? Between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., but adjust based on your skin tone and latitude. Fair skin may need less. Darker skin may need more. The goal isn't to tan or burn, it's to nourish. Short, consistent exposures are far more healing than rare, intense ones. Dr. Michael Hollick from Boston University, one of the world's leading vitamin D researchers, calls this sensible sun exposure. He reminds us that the body was never meant to live in darkness, but also not to bake in excess. Balance, not fear, is the key. Light for the seasons. During winter, sunlight weakens, especially for those living far from the equator. But even on cloudy days, up to 50% of UV and 90% of visible light still reaches your skin. Make it a habit to take brief walks at midday. Open your curtains fully. Work near windows. If daylight hours are short, consider using a full-spectrum light box in the morning, or a red light therapy lamp in the evening to mimic the missing spectrum. Think of it not as artificial, but as sunlight's echo, a reminder for your cells until the sun returns. Pair light with movement. Combine sunlight with gentle motion. Take your morning coffee on a balcony. Stretch near a window. Go for a 10-minute walk after lunch. Movement increases blood flow, helping nitric oxide and oxygen circulate. distributing sunlight's benefits throughout your body. It's like spreading light through every cell. Even simple rituals, watering plants, walking your dog, or standing by the window while you breathe deeply, can become daily acts of solar nourishment. Protect, don't block. Sun protection matters, but total avoidance is not protection. It's deprivation. Use clothing or shade during strong midday hours, but allow small windows of skin exposure. Avoid chemical sunscreens that block all UV and infrared light. Opt for mineral-based ones like zinc oxide that protect without shutting down the entire spectrum. And remember, glass blocks UVB, so sitting behind a window won't make vitamin D. Step outside for just a few minutes. Your body will thank you. You don't need hours in the sun. You just need consistency. A few mindful minutes each morning, a little warmth on your skin at noon, and soft amber light as the sun goes down. Because those moments, small as they seem, are how your body finds its rhythm again. That's how nature keeps time within you. Every sunrise is a reminder. Healing isn't about more pills or stricter rules. It's about reconnecting to the light you were born to follow. The shadow side, misuse, myths, and finding balance. Every medicine has its dose. Even sunlight, the source of all life, can become harmful when misunderstood. For decades, we've been taught that the sun is dangerous, that every ray is a threat, that we must cover, hide, protect every single day. And yes, there is truth in that. Too much ultraviolet light can damage skin cells, accelerate aging, and increase the risk of skin cancer. But the problem isn't sunlight itself, it's how we use it. Modern life has turned sunlight into an all-or-nothing equation. Either total exposure, hours of beach tanning under harsh rays, or total avoidance, staying indoors, behind glass, under artificial light for weeks on end. Both extremes disconnect us from balance, because your skin, just like your muscles, needs gradual training. When you build tolerance with short, regular exposure, your body produces melanin, a natural pigment that protects you from deeper damage. It's your body's built-in sunscreen, one that also strengthens your vitamin D system. But when we avoid sunlight for months, then suddenly expose ourselves on vacation, our skin has forgotten how to defend itself. That's when burning and damage occur, not because the sun changed, but because we stopped listening to it. Dr. Hollick, the vitamin D pioneer from Boston University, often says, "The sun is both a friend and a teacher." It teaches us moderation, timing, and respect, and that's the key. Balance. Use the morning sun to awaken your system. Use midday sun carefully, in short doses. Seek shade when it's harsh. Never chase a tan. Chase vitality. And remember that not all sunscreens are equal. Chemical filters can block beneficial infrared rays and disrupt vitamin D synthesis. Mineral-based sunscreens, made from zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, protect from burns while still allowing your body to interact with sunlight's healing spectrum. Another myth worth breaking: you can get enough light from windows. Unfortunately, glass blocks nearly all UVB, the wavelength needed to create vitamin D. It lets in UVA, which penetrates deeper but doesn't produce vitamin D. That's why people who spend all day near windows may still have low vitamin D levels. So if you want real light nutrition, you must step outside, even for a few minutes. Let your skin and eyes reconnect with the full spectrum. Finally, beware of the modern trap. Thinking technology can fully replace nature. Red light therapy, vitamin supplements, light boxes, they're all useful tools. But they are imitations of something far greater. They can supplement, but not substitute, the living relationship between sunlight and life. Because sunlight is not just photons. It carries rhythm, warmth, and meaning. It's part of an ancient dialogue between the earth and the sky, a dialogue that your body was born to join. So yes, protect your skin, but also protect your connection, because healing is not found in extremes. It lives in balance, in knowing when to seek shade and when to turn your face toward the light. The future of light healing. As science continues to evolve, something remarkable is happening. We are rediscovering what ancient civilizations always knew, that light itself can heal. In hospitals and laboratories around the world, doctors are using light therapy to treat conditions once thought incurable. Red and near-infrared light are now used to heal wounds, regenerate nerves, and ease chronic pain. Blue light helps fight bacteria and treat skin disorders. Bright light therapy resets circadian rhythms and lifts the fog of seasonal depression. NASA uses light therapy to keep astronauts healthy in space, where sunlight is limited. Dermatologists use it to help skin recover. Neuroscientists study it to restore memory and focus. Step by step, modern medicine is proving what nature has whispered since the beginning. The body is a light-responsive system. But beyond technology, something deeper is awakening. A shift in how we see our relationship with the sun. Not as a threat to be feared, but as a teacher to be understood. Because light doesn't just shape your biology, it shapes your spirit. When you step into sunlight after a long winter, your body remembers joy. Your mood lifts, not just because of serotonin, but because something ancient in you recognizes warmth. You're not just absorbing photons, you're reconnecting to the very rhythm of life. We were never meant to live under artificial skies. Our eyes were designed to see the changing colors of day, the golden hues of morning, the deep reds of sunset. Those subtle shifts in light guide our hormones, our energy, our emotions. So maybe healing in the future won't come from more pills or complex machines, but from a return to nature's rhythm. From remembering that the greatest source of energy, hope and balance, has always been above us, rising every morning. In the coming years, scientists predict that light medicine will become a pillar of preventive health, helping regulate sleep, metabolism, immunity, and mood. But we don't have to wait for the future. That future is already shining outside your window. You don't need a device, a prescription, or a miracle. You just need a few mindful moments to pause, breathe, and receive what nature freely offers. Every sunrise is an invitation. Every beam of light is a silent reminder that your body was built to heal. Not through complexity, but through connection. So tomorrow morning, before the noise of the world begins, step outside. Feel the cool air. Let the light touch your skin. Close your eyes and whisper, "I'm home," because healing doesn't always start in a clinic. Sometimes it starts with a sunrise. Follow Healing Good Life, where science meets soul, and where every ray of light becomes medicine.